All Hollywood's doing right now are sequels, reboots, remakes, turning a live action into a cartoon or a cartoon into a live action is something you've probably heard said a lot recently. But that's actually been true for most of Hollywood's history. Before Frasier was rebooted as Frasier or Roseanne was rebooted as The Connors, Hollywood has been trying to cash in on your nostalgia. The quintessential family show from the 1950s, Leave It to Beaver, was rebooted for a television movie. In the 1980s, still the Beaver that got a spin-off show, the new Leave It to Beaver. All of the surviving cast members came back and it had a very successful run of 4 seasons. And in the 1990s, Leave It to Beaver was rebooted again for a theatrical movie with a completely new cast. Before Disney was making live-action remakes of all of their animated movies, they were making live-action remakes of all their animated movies, like 101 Dalmatians, starring Glenn Close as Cruella de Vil, and this movie was so successful it got a cash grab sequel, 102 Dalmatians. In the late 80s, they capitalized on the nostalgia of the Munsters by rebooting it with The Munsters Today, which actually had more episodes than the original show, and this is an example of lost media. You really can't find any episodes of it anywhere. And then there's The Addams Family. The Addams Family was based on a comic strip, which was turned into a TV show, which was turned into a movie franchise, which was turned into a TV show, which was turned into a movie, which was turned into an animated movie, which is turned into a TV show. Also, there was a Broadway musical in there somewhere. Now comes the most interesting subgenre, the Hanna-Barbera cartoons based on TV shows, like The New Adventures of Gilligan's Island. That was spun off into another animated TV show, Gilligan's Planet, where they leave Earth somehow. There was also an I Dream of Jeannie cartoon, Jeannie. And I'm not even including the animated cash grab tie-in shows like The Brady Kids or The Partridge Family 2200 AD. The critically acclaimed 1940s movie, The Ghost of Mrs. Muir, was turned into a far less critically acclaimed TV series, The Ghost of Mrs. Muir. I would argue that the mid to late 90s was actually the height of rebooting existing properties for cash grabs, like the Brady Bunch movie, George of the Jungle, The Mummy, The Beverly Hillbillies, Dennis the Menace, The Little Rascals, and the Flintstones movie, just to name a very few. Have you picked up on a trend? Have you noticed that there seems to be a 25 to 30-year cycle on these reboots? Almost as if they're cashing in on your childhood nostalgia for when you have children. And if you're one of those people who is such a purist and you're clutching your pearls because they're going to reboot The Wizard of Oz, well, The Wizard of Oz was actually a remake of a 1925 silent era movie. Old Hollywood would actually remake their movies, sometimes so quickly they could reuse the original sets. Now, there are definitely good reboots and good remakes and bad remakes, and sometimes they're obvious cash grabs that hollow out the entire point of the original story. But that's not new. And sometimes they're done so reverently, and it's obvious that it's coming from a very pure place of people who love the original source material and want to give it a new life. Things can be remade and rebooted with great care, and it's not necessarily just a cash grab. It can be about preserving the legacy of the original franchise. It's important to remember it doesn't matter how influential or beloved a piece of media is. If it isn't kept in the cultural zeitgeist, it will fade into obscurity. Alright, my strange little onions, I love you. Have a hug, a cookie, and a juice box, and let me know in the comments what you thought of this video. Mwah.